regular meeting of the Township of Lopatcong Town Council. We need to pass a resolution to come out of executive session. We'll do that. Do I have a
Motion.
yeah, second?
Second.
Okay, we're out. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Next thing we have is our prayer. So we'll take a minute for silent prayer. Okay, pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, yeah, we should do that now. All right. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided indicating the time and place of the meeting in accordance with Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975 by advertising a notice in the Star Gazette and the Express Times, and by posting a copy on the bulletin board in the municipal building. First order of business.
Executive session?
Yeah.
Council was in executive session for approximately 35 to 40 minutes. The topics of discussion were as listed on your agenda. Number 1, personnel, social media matter. Number 2, personnel, municipal business, council's involvement. Number 3, personnel, township fire department complaint. Number 4, contractual LAA contract. Number 5, contracts banks. Number 6, personnel co-administrator. Number 7, personnel 911 coordinator. Number 8, Phillipsburg High School intersection compensation for road widening. And not on your agenda, number 9, personnel tax assessor. The minutes from executive session will be available at such time as the need for confidentiality no longer exists.
Thank you. Roll call.
Let's swear.
Oh, you're going to do the swearing first? Okay. We're going to have a swearing in of Lou Belcaro and Joe Pryor. I believe there's a distinguished guest here to swear them in.
Here's,
Okay, yeah, we're not voting first.
and I didn't know if you wanted to do that. Might make things easier. And you hold the line.
Repeat after me. I, Lou Belcaro, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
That I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey.
that I will bear true faith
That I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the same,
to the same,
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the government established in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
of council
of council
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Lou. I don't understand. Is your one?
Right here? Top line?
Yeah.
Repeat after me. I, Joseph Pryor,
I, Joseph Pryor,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same,
and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties of the office of council
perform all the duties of the office of council
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my abilities.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'd like to really thank the Senator for coming in. I first met Mike, he was running for freeholder. And when I met him, I said, boy, what an impressive young man. And after his time with the freeholder board, the assembly, and the Senate, I feel stronger than ever about that. So proud to have you representing me, and thank you.
Well, congratulations, Joe. I know you worked very hard to get elected to the town council, and I know you're going to do a great job. I've known Joe for many years. He's all throughout the county, has an outstanding reputation, and congratulations and thank you. And Lou, I know how busy you've been in Lopatcong Township, and congratulations on your reelection. It's a real honor to swear both of these fine gentlemen in. I wish everybody in Lopatcong a very happy new year, successful and healthy. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I'd like to say something real quick. Okay. I'd just like to make a comment. I want to thank all the citizens of Lopatcong to come out and support myself and Joe Pryor in the primary and also in the general election. We're grateful. It's a privilege, and I will make one promise, and that is I will do my best to serve this community. Thank you.
If you don't mind, can I have just a minute? I'd like to thank my wife. Anybody who's been up here knows how much time it takes, and you can't do that without your spouse's support. In colonial times, people actually voted in public, and it was customary you would bow and thank them for their vote. We can't do that anymore. I'd like to take a symbolic bow and thank those who supported me. Those who didn't, I hope to prove to you I'm up here for the right reasons. So, thank you.
Roll call.
Councilman Belcaro?
Here.
Councilwoman McCabe?
Here.
Councilman Pryor?
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider?
Yes.
Mayor McKay?
Yes. Okay, move to a public comment for agenda items only. I'll take a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, the meeting is open to public comment on agenda items only. Have we any comments? Mala Endick?
Just have a quick procedural question. And I guess, Katrina, you're probably the person to answer this. If tonight we're going to be voting on township professionals to be either reappointed or new ones to be appointed, if in fact we have current township professionals who donate to a PAC, and that PAC then gives money to council people running for election who are then elected, can those same council people then vote for their reappointments, or is that considered a conflict of interest?
Yes, they can vote.
Okay, so it's not a conflict of interest. Okay, thank you.
Have we any other questions or comments? All right, seeing none, hearing none, motion to close public comment agenda items.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, going into the reorganization matters. Resolution number 1, this is with respect to the annual meeting calendar. And the annual meeting calendar includes today and days, one day a month for the rest of the year. It looks like it's the same thing. It's the first Wednesday. We have not, I see, put any extra meetings in here for purposes of budget. I don't know that we don't want to do that now. Last year, I think we did it at the first meeting so that we would know and keep those days open. Or if you don't think we need to do it, then we can just go with this as it is.
I don't think we need to do it this year.
No?
If it needs to be, then we'll make something, arrange something.
Because then we have the cost of additional, advertising and all that. That's what we sought to avoid last time. All right.
I think we should go with it as is.
Okay. Mr. Carr, you have a thought? Yes.
It'll unfold as we go through the budget,
Okay.
the need for it, so I think we go as is.
Okay, then I'll take a motion to approve Resolution 1601.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Belcarro.
Yes.
Councilwoman McCabe.
Yes.
Councilman Pryor.
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider.
Yes.
Mayor McKay.
Yes. The charge for individuals requesting annual meeting calendar. Yeah, the charge is, I think, $25, generally speaking. You will have it in your packet. It's a Resolution 1602. Motion to approve.
Motion.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Do you want roll call on that?
Typically, we roll call anything with
Okay.
a dollar in it.
$25, okay. Let's roll call.
Councilman Belcarro.
Yes.
Councilwoman McCabe.
Yes.
Councilman Pryor.
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider.
Yes.
Mayor McKay.
Yes. Okay. Resolution number 1603 is to establish a cash management plan. And this calls for 4 people to have the authority to sign checks. And those would be myself, Maureen McCabe, Mrs. Diltz, and the new CFO, Janice Safarano. Hope I got that right.
Caponero.
And there are some other items, but that's kind of what it is. Does anyone wish to add, to read any more of this, or are you all familiar with it enough that we can vote on it?
Motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, there's no dollars in this, I don't think, so we could do this with the roll call, or we could do this with
I would do it a roll call because it's cash.
because it's cash management. All right.
Councilman Belcarro.
Yes.
Councilwoman McCabe.
Yes.
Councilman Pryor.
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider.
Yes.
Mayor McKay.
Yes. Designation of official newspapers, those being the Star Gazette and the Express Times.
Motion.
Do I have a
Second.
second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right. Appointment of township attorney. At this point, I don't think I'm ready to do that. I am very concerned about the present law firm contributing to a pact, and that pact supports certain people on this council and sends out hate mail against other people on the council. And I just don't feel it's appropriate. I'm not comfortable with that kind of situation. So I'm going to hold on that.
Have you had any issues with our legal representation in this last year?
I don't want to go there.
Well, I think we've carried over our current township's attorney, and I believe they've done a great job, and they were able to point out a few things that we all missed. And it was due to the fact that they've had the experience with this township, and I believe that they have provided us with excellent representation.
Well, thank you for your comments. We also have the situation where I am kind of a, stickler for the rule where you, after 5 years, you start looking, you don't go over 10 with the same professionals.
What rule is that, Mr. Mayor?
That is guidance that the state puts forth.
I've never heard of such guidance. To change people for the sake of change, I don't agree
It's
with it.
not changing for the sake of change.
It is. You just said for over 5 years, you're going to just change for
Doesn't
no
I
other
said you
reason.
start looking, I said after 10.
Townships change attorneys when they have a problem with the representation that they're receiving.
Fine.
We don't have a problem.
Thank you for your comments. Resolution number 6, reappoint the Village Medical Association as township positions.
Motion.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Appoint municipal attorney for defense of municipal appeals. I don't know what to do with that at this point.
Mayor, as I just discussed with council last year,
Yeah,
This is
no, we can
not-
do this, I
this is
understand.
not appointing a specific law firm. This is whoever your municipal attorney is. They have the authority to defend your municipal appeals. So I strongly recommend you pass this because otherwise you've got some municipal appeals that will not be able to be defended.
Okay, well, upon your advice, we will go for a roll call vote on that. Well, first we'll take this motion.
Do we need to name the attorney?
No.
Okay. Motion.
Second,
Second.
okay.
I'll roll call that. Councilman Belcarro?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCabe?
Yes.
Councilman Pryor?
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider?
Yes.
Mayor McKay?
Yes. All right, the next is Resolution 16-8 to authorize interest to be charged on delinquent taxes.
Motion.
Second.
Okay, we'll roll call that because it has numbers in it.
Councilman Belcarro?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCabe?
Yes.
Councilman Pryor?
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider?
Yes.
Mayor McKay?
Yes. Authorize the tax collector to process and cancel any municipal charge, refunds, or delinquencies for less than $10. Motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Councilman Belcarro?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCabe?
Yes.
Councilman Pryor?
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider?
Yes.
Mayor McKay?
Yes. Number 10, adopt Robert's Rules as a basic guide for fair and orderly procedure in meetings. Motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 11, appoint a 9/11 coordinator. I appoint Jason Garcia.
Motion.
Motion?
Second.
All in favor?
All in
Aye.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Number 12, to reappoint the municipal prosecutor, appoint Christopher Troxel.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 13, to reappoint the municipal public defender named Scott Wilhelm.
Motion.
Motion? Second?
I'll second.
Okay, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Appointment of township auditor.
I make a motion, we appoint Ms. Sabachi, our current auditor.
You can't make that motion,
Okay.
only I can.
No, she can.
No. I disagree. The charter says that only I can do it.
No,
Well, it says that.
Mr. Lavery gave you a memo.
We had a memo
in February of
last year.
2015 that detailed that the governing body makes that
It's not how I read it and understand it.
Okay, well, he's your legal counsel.
I think
We'll do
we've
that
got direction from our legal counsel regarding the issue and a letter dated February 15th, which was emailed to all of us this week.
I got a letter that had didn't make any citations. It just says that's the way it is.
It was emailed from my office to you in February of 2015, 11 months ago.
11 months ago, yeah.
There's a motion on the floor. I second it.
Thank you.
I'll roll call that. Councilman Belcarro?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCabe?
Yes.
Councilman Pryor?
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider?
No, and I have a couple of reasons why.
It's just a vote, I think. Yeah.
Yes, well, we didn't have discussion, so I'm going to say it now. The auditors do need to be changed, although, I have nothing against the current auditors. They're very nice, but this town needs a new look on our books. We need somebody in here that's different. We've
No.
had them here for many years. It is time to make a change for the auditors. There's lots of issues, and I think we just need a clean set of eyes, and I think the residents deserve to have a clean set of eyes.
There's not lots of issues, and I think experience.
This was my comment,
Okay.
so I'm going
Well,
to
did you want
stick
to
with
make a
my
comment or have a
comment.
discussion?
I also have the person that I'd like to nominate works well with
We're not
our,
nominating, we're in the middle of a vote.
I know that, I am talking.
Yeah, you can't nominate in the middle of.
I'm not nominating him.
we are not in agreement that the council can nominate this person, so, and that'll come up later again, but.
The person I'd like to appoint, that I would have liked to appoint, was, works well with our current CFO. They know each other, they have a good rapport, and I had full faith that this person could complete the job. It's unfortunate that we continue to keep the same people over and over and over and over and over again. And it just goes to show that nobody here wants to make the change.
Did your person submit an RFP?
Yes, they did.
Who was it?
Bob Morrison.
Bob Morrison, who's currently representing Greenwich Township?
I don't know if he is or isn't.
And I believe they're not renewing him. They've had some issues
Well,
with him.
it's funny that you said that you complained last year because they were working for Greenwich. Now they're not working for Greenwich, and that has nothing to do with his credentials.
Well, I'm not going to hire somebody who another town got rid of for reasons that...
Well, you don't know what their reasons were for getting rid of them, so you can't
Well,
speak to that.
actually, I do. I'm sorry. I've already made a motion, and we're voting on it.
Yes, and I was making a
Just
comment.
divested of the audit firm, and I believe the audit firm was Nisavotia, I believe. I'm not sure on that, but
What?
Should I?
Excuse me?
We
Phillipsburg.
started voting already.
Right, Phillipsburg also
You
let
know,
go of
let's-
our
let's
current
finish
auditor.
We're in the middle of a
Okay.
vote.
So
Continue.
Councilwoman Schneider said she would like to abstain.
I said no, actually.
Oh, no, okay.
Okay.
You said
No, because I don't recognize the council's authority to do that.
Okay.
Pathetic.
I don't believe in fixing something that isn't broken. That's my opinion. Thank you.
Well, it is, and there have been many issues that we found,
Okay, I
so
don't think
that's it.
Move on.
All right, number 15, reappoint Beth Dilts, qualified purchasing agent. Motion,
Motion.
second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Reappoint Beth Dilts as Public Agency Compliance Officer as mandated by the Department of Treasury with regard to contract compliance.
Motion.
Second. Second?
We got one.
Oh, I didn't hear it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Appoint Lynn Gabos, Recycling Coordinator, and authorize submission of recycling tonnage grant application. Motion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Appointment for computer services. Again, I think I'll hold off on that.
Is that something that the governing body can motion?
No.
Well, I'm sure you can get some attorney to give you
I
something that
guess
says you can.
then the Nizavashia would still be, the person.
The
would
carryover?
go on until such time as you resolve this issue.
Yes.
They would act as a whole board.
Okay.
All right.
Well, can we make a motion to continue with our Nisabashi Consulting, our current
No.
technology?
No motion. We don't need it. He's a holdover. Resolution number 19, appointment of the labor attorney. I wish to appoint Aparuzzi, McDermott, Mastro, and Murphy.
Excuse me, I think there's a conflict there. Isn't your personal attorney a member of that law firm?
An attorney who has represented me in the matter is, yes.
Yes, so don't you think that there's a conflict in your making that motion?
Be careful of that
suggestion?
because you have a lot of people here that have personal attorneys that work for law firms that.
But you're
So
making
if
a
you're
motion.
making that as your, I don't know that that's a conflict of interest. He represented me on one matter, no more.
I believe that's how conflict's defined.
I believe that's,
Conflict of interest.
You want to, so let me get this straight. You want to appoint the law firm that your current personal attorney works for as our labor attorney. Is that correct?
he is a member of, it's a very large firm. And they specialize in
Still a
employment.
member of that firm, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
So I don't think so. I disagree. I think we need to keep our current labor attorney, which is laboring.
It's actually Rich one.
Yeah.
Sorry, Rich Warner from, yes.
Yeah. I would like to put a hold on it. I'd like to talk about this next month.
No, I think we're here tonight to do our reorganization, and we need to discuss the appointments of our attorneys
Well,
and
I'm
of
not
our
gonna,
professionals.
I've made my, you say I can't do it, so I'm going on to the next item.
Well,
Number
there's a
20,
conflict
appointment
there.
of township engineer for a 3-year term. Again, I'm disappointed in Paul's firm because they too contribute money to this PAC. and the money is used to give money to Mr. Belcaro, Mr. Pryor. I believe they gave money to Lloyd Chesla, the PAC did, but what they give Donna and I is hate mail that goes out, and
No, I
it's
think,
not very nice, and, it's not a real good way to
This is all assumptions.
No, it's not. It's
No.
right here in black and white.
I have the, you want to see them?
Split, it's right here in black
They
and
have to
white.
file reports with the state.
they were supporting some of your friends. I guess you wouldn't have a problem with it.
I
that what
still
you're
would have,
saying?
actually, I would have a problem with it.
Yeah. I can,
I don't think like you do, Maureen.
Thank
All right.
God.
All right, so I think I'm going to hold on the township engineer for a little bit until I get some assurances that this is not going to continue. Appointment of the township sewer engineer for a 3-year term. I have I'll reappoint the existing township sewer engineer for a 3-year term.
Excuse me, I need to just go back. So our current township engineer then is going to be a carryover?
Yes,
Okay.
until such time as I find out what's going on with this.
Mhm.
All right. Now I'm appointing the township sewer engineer for a 3-year term. Madden is the present township sewer engineer, so we'll reappoint him. I believe Mr. Pryor cannot vote on this, is that correct?
I am recusing myself.
Good, thank you.
Even though I retired, I have one existing client, City of Elizabeth, and I run that through JMT. I might run my time through them, so
Yeah.
I'll recuse myself from that.
Okay, so then I will ask for a motion on that.
Motion?
A second?
Second,
I'll roll call that. Councilman Belcaro?
Yes.
Councilwoman McKay?
Yes.
Councilman Pryor?
Can't recuse.
Councilwoman Schneider?
yes.
Mayor McDonald?
Yes. Appointment of a council president.
I'd like to make a motion that we vote for Joe Pryor to be our council president.
Second.
Joe brings great experience with him and knowledge, and has lots of history with this town and with the many sewer and the boards that he's served on in the past. So I'd be happy to have Joe as our president, council president.
Well, thank you.
Now, we are assuming now that this is an elected position, whereas in the past it has sometimes been an appointed position.
It reads in your charter that council picks the council president.
We picked
We didn't
our
pick when
president
I was
last
here in
year.
2014. I'll say it again. We did not pick when I was here in 2014.
We'll follow
And
the
we
charter.
picked
If the
last
charter
year.
says it, we'll follow it when I'm here, so that'll be what's done. Now,
We need to take a vote.
we need to take a vote.
Someone
Roll
second.
call.
Councilman Belcaro?
Yes.
Councilwoman McKay?
Yes.
Councilman Pryor?
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider?
Yes.
Mayor McKay?
Yes. Okay, now I have to read into the record assignments, which I have to find. So much paper. It's right here. Okay. Okay, I'm reading in the mayoral council assignments. First one is my own, and that's administrative and executive personnel, first level liaison, public safety director, planning board class 1, South Warren Regional Police Commission to the extent it still exists, mayor wellness committee liaison, environmental conservation commission liaison, and ex officio all boards, commissions, committees, associations, etc. For Donna Schneider, councilwoman, administrative and executive personnel, second level liaison, shared services negotiations committee, finance committee, Municipal Insurance and Fund Commissioner, DPW First Level Liaison, Public Buildings and Grounds First Level Liaison. Mr. Belcaro, EDAC Liaison, Board of Education First Level Liaison, Sewer Department First Level Liaison, DPW Second Level Liaison, Clean Communities and Recycling Second Level Liaison, Animal Control Second Level Liaison. To Mr. Pryor, Planning Board Class 3, now this requires council consent. I assume you're going to do that?
Actually, I think you're wrong there, Mayor.
Oh, you're not?
No, the municipal land use law makes that a council improvement.
No, I said that. Council has to make the appointment.
No,
And I assume
you can nominate as a member of council.
I
It's not a
can.
mayoral appointment.
No, no. All right, I thought it was already decided. I'm gonna leave it. All right, then the next item would be for you, would be Finance Committee, Shared Services Negotiations Committee, the Recreation Committee Liaison, and the Technology Liaison. Those are my, whoops, what's back here? Maureen McCabe. Lopatcong Athletic Association Liaison, Animal Control First Level Liaison, Clean Communities and Recycling First Level Liaison, Board of Education Second Level Liaison, Shade Tree Commission Liaison, Rent Leveling Board Liaison.
May I make a point of order, Mayor?
What?
May I make a point of order?
I can't imagine why. What's your point there?
Unfortunately, we're trying to have a harmonious initial meeting, but
Yes.
I do note in the charter, you do have you're empowered to appoint committees, Finance Committee, and I appreciate that appointment.
Mhm.
There's no mention of council liaisons. There's no mention of that being a mayoral authority. There's, please just, I don't really care about the past. I'm here now. It's not in the charter. It's not in the code book. We don't have bylaws. And to the best of my knowledge, I haven't found anything in general law, and I'll defer to Katrina on that. My objection is, in the other towns I've been to, these appointments have always done in consultation with the council. And tonight is the first time I'm hearing of them.
First time I'm hearing of it too.
So again, the committee's no problem. That's in the charter. But as far as these municipal liaisons, I would question your authority to unilaterally do that.
Well,
Would be nice if we had some input into these appointments
well,
that you may or may not have the ability to do in the
I
first
think I have
place.
the ability to do them, and I think the reason the mayor has that is that they can mix and match and make sure people move along and get into new things and don't do the same old thing.
These
all
are
the time.
3-year appointments. There's no need to mix and match and move people along.
No, these
It
are
takes
one-year
a couple of years to even get going on certain things, and we're only in office for a minimum of 3 years, and you're moving everything around constantly doesn't help anyone.
Not constantly, I move a few things, they move other
Well,
things.
let me make this suggestion. Let's move on, but I am going to request Katrina consider my comments and report next meeting, just like you deferred or you objected to
Appointments.
some of the appointments. So let's just sort that out. We'll go forward.
Yeah, it would be nice if we had some say in what we were interested in. I agree.
I think we should set up an appointment, each council member to sit down with the mayor and discuss this.
Yeah,
No one's
or
ever
even
asked
amongst
me
the
to
council
do that.
members, we
You
could
know,
discuss.
Nobody's ever mentioned anything they wanted to.
We've discussed
Lou
this
did
last
once.
year at this exact meeting, Mr. Mayor, where you never called any of us in to discuss it with any of us.
I wasn't
Unilaterally
asked
made
either.
the decision on your own without any input from any of us.
2014 was the same scenario with a
speaking about
different mayor.
2015.
I am. I'm speaking about 2014. Same scenario, different mayor. I wasn't asked. I was put on a list, and that's what I got.
And did you speak up at that time?
No, because I didn't complain about it. I took what I got.
You know, this is a new year. Let's
Yeah.
look forward, and let's forget about the past for now. Let's move forward.
But you guys keep going back to the past. Last year, we would have wanted this. Last year, we would have wanted this. Last year, so stop going back.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry.
That's
I'm
okay.
not going back. Yes. I've been on there an
Yeah, I
hour
wasn't
now,
speaking to you,
and
Joe.
I'm raising a question, just
Yeah.
like the mayor did.
I wasn't
And we'll-
speaking to you, Joe. I was
We'll settle
speaking to
it.
the other two.
We'll settle it. Now he's
For parliamentary
That's right.
procedure and
So then
Okay.
maybe we should put these appointments on hold until the issue can be resolved.
I don't think so. I think we have to have somebody doing these things.
I think everyone is appointed as of last year to different things.
No, we don't have holdovers in. Yeah,
Your appointment's in question in the first place.
no, well, then every appointment ever made in this township's been in question, and therefore,
That's not true.
anything, of course it is.
Yes, it is.
No, it's,
Of course it is. And anything that they've done is in question.
I really have a suggestion. I mean, there were protests about the appointments. I made protests about these, but
Yes.
we're moving forward. We'll hear some legal opinion.
I
and,
agree. That's what-
If there's an adjustment, there's an adjustment. All right?
Yes. All right, the next thing is the mayor's appointments to all expired and vacated municipal boards. Okay. All right, I was going to give Mrs. Dills a copy of this, so I'll give it to you after.
Thank
So you can use it. Okay, now I have certain non-consent agreements. These are mayoral appointments. First one is planning board. Now, for some reason, unbeknownst to me, almost everybody on the planning board's term expires this year. I don't want to comment on why that is. I don't really know. But what I want to do is reconstitute the board as well as put new people on it so that we have staggered, term maturities as the statutes and the ordinance require. So I'm going to do both simultaneously as I attempt to do this. Class one would be me as the mayor, and that term expires, I think it's a 1 year when I'm expire, right? 12/31/17. Renew Gary Wolf, term expires, his term expires 12/31/16. He gets 1 year. I don't know who you want to put in here, the council, so I'll just leave that blank. I assumed it was Joe because he's knowledgeable.
Well, I thought that was part of your motion, right?
What? Yeah, well, and that one needs council consent, that one thing. All right, for the one thing, for the class three, I will recommend Joe Pryor, and I'll ask the council to vote on that.
Joe, would you like that?
Yes.
position? Then, second that.
You second it? Did I have, all right, so, okay, then we need a roll call.
Councilman Belcarro.
Yes.
Councilwoman McCabe.
Yes.
Councilman Pryor.
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider.
Yes.
Mayor McKay.
Yes. All right, so now we got that. Now, the next are the class four. There's a question, as there is always with Garrett Van Vliet, because he was elected to 4-year terms, 3 years in a row, according to the minutes. So it's difficult to know when his term actually expires. I had been given information that it expired in 15, but now it's more likely that might be 16. So he's an asset. So I'll say let's make it 16, and so he'll go on. It says in the planning book as he did before. My additional class 4 appointments are Peter Pasillo. His term expires 12/31/17. He's new. Mark Correll's already in. Peter Ostrowski, his term will expire 12/31/18. Eric Johnson, his term will expire 12/31/19. John Fox, his term will expire 12/31/19. Now, as far as the alternates go, I will appoint, I will keep Tom Fishback as alternate number 1 and add a new alternate number 2, Audra Frank, and her term will expire in 17. Tom's expires in 16 because they have to be staggered. So that's the planning board. Environmental Conservation Commission.
And before we move on, is Mr. Oshevsky able to vote in the United States?
We've already gone over that.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter?
It doesn't
So he's still not a citizen of the United States? Putting him on the
Are
planning.
you a citizen?
No, but he's a resident that pays taxes.
I think there was three different legal municipalities and this.
Yeah, legal municipalities already, I'll send you the email.
Yes.
I checked with the head of the general counsel there, and he came back and yes.
I want to make sure that it's a
We
proper
wouldn't do it if it
appointment.
wasn't.
However, you know,
Mr. Labor already gave his opinion.
You know, I do comment, I do this reluctantly. Obviously, it is your appointment, it doesn't need our approval, but I ask that you're expected to make a reasonable appointment. I look at the knowledge, experience, and temperament. Anybody who has observed this behavior before the planning board or before council would certainly question temperament, and I'll just leave it at that.
Thank you,
there's
sir.
no need to question temperament. I know what it is.
All right, Environmental Conservation
And
Commission.
I don't agree with your appointments, but as you said, we don't have any say.
Environmental Conservation Commission, our member Laura Nowak, her term is being renewed. She'll expire on 12/31/18. And same with Judy Liptak. Her term expires, so she's going to be renewed to 12/31/18. Shade Tree Commission. We go back and forth as to whether this should be an independent standalone commission, whether it can be folded into something else. We'll still talk about that, but for now, we don't have a quorum, so I'm working to get some people in here. So we do have a quorum. We have one member, Matt, and he's sitting right over there. Where is he? There he is. We had a gentleman come forth, Pastor Zombas, is he present? I don't know. Oh, there he is. How do you do, sir? He has volunteered to come forth and work with the Shade Tree Commission. His commission would, his term would expire 12/31/20.
Is the Shade Tree a group that we need in this township? I mean, we only have one person. We could probably move him to a different committee. I'm not sure that we need to have a Shade Tree Commission.
We went over this in
Yeah, we need to
2014,
go
and
over this.
Katrina determined that we do need a shade tree.
We need a forestry plan in
You
place. I
don't need a
don't,
commission. Your ordinance says you have one, so you
Right.
have to dissolve your ordinance. You
Right.
need a
A forestry
forestry
plan.
plan, but you don't actually have to have a shade tree commission.
It might be smart to
But if you do, you
fold
have
it
to-
into the environmental commission or
Right.
something else and
Right, you'd have to dissolve it.
dissolve the whole one.
You know, if you do have a shade tree commission, it triggers other things relative to the planning board and so on. My personal view is we probably don't need one statutorily. We're not required to have one. So maybe you want to think about that.
Who would manage
Yeah.
the forestry plan if we didn't have shade tree?
we could move Matt to either another commission committee, maybe.
That's nothing to do with you, Matt.
No,
Who-
it's
who
just
would-
that you're the only one on it, and I'm not sure that we need one in the first place, so,
Who would manage the forestry plan?
The DPW.
They have
That's who's
enough
been doing it.
responsibility,
No points.
and they don't want those
well,
positions.
I don't think you should speak for them. We should.
I already
probably do
did
it.
speak with them.
She liaisons. They have complained that, I think they don't care for that. They want, if they do what they would expect to
Well,
get.
I think,
They've all resigned from those jobs
Yeah, they
in the
will.
past,
They
and
will
they don't
come to
want
us.
them. There's too much responsibility on them already.
So that's something to bring up again.
I think
I
we
mean,
should discuss it, yeah.
all right, now we go to the Zoning Board of Adjustment.
That's actually resolution number 24.
Yes, the next resolution.
And zoning board, I point out, are council appointments, not mayoral.
They are definitely that. I just wanted to, I think we have 4 possible openings there. Is that right?
Yeah, are you moving on to number 24?
Which?
Or 27, which is resolution 24, which is where the governing body's appointments are considered. That's the planning board class 3 and the zoning board of adjustment.
Well, we did the planning board class 3.
I see.
That's why I thought we would do the zoning board, but we can wait.
No, I'd like to, on behalf of council, make nominations. Gus Rutledge's term is up. I'd like to renominate Gus Rutledge.
Second?
Well, we'll do it collectively. if you
Okay,
don't mind.
that's a good
Or-
idea.
Well, let's try it collectively.
Yes.
Just get it done. Bob Larson, Richard Batone, they both submitted. I'd like to renew those. The unexpired term of Joe Barsick. I'd like to appoint Catherine DeVos. And the other one that's open is Michael Onyx. He didn't respond. Does anybody?
I don't know.
I'd like to defer that one until
We can hear from him.
we hear from him.
Before we vote, I'd like to make a couple of comments. Joe, you just commented on one of the gentlemen that was just appointed to planning board and temperament and those sort of things. There's two people that you just mentioned that happen to do the same thing in these meetings time after time, and everyone knows who they are and what their temperaments are like. So,
You know what? Personal temperament outside of council meeting is one thing. Somebody charging up to the dais and yelling at the attorney, you don't know what you're doing, is something else. So I separate.
well, when you come up to the
There's always
dais and you
people-
tell the
there's
microphone,
always people we're
Yeah.
not going to like.
of course, but when the
Alright.
person comes up to the microphone, just because they didn't yell,
Alright,
the words
well-
they used were awful. They
Their
were
views-
awful.
their
Oh, you're talking
views
about
from-
Peter? Yes, I agree.
No, Maureen, I'm not talking
All
about
right,
Peter.
well,
But
okay,
you've made your
where-
points, you've made your
those
points.
are my,
I know, you made your point before, I'm making my point now for the same reason.
You have a vote, so vote.
that's what I
Really?
need a second. We need-
No, second.
I want to say,
You want a
Wait.
second? Yes. Okay.
I already seconded.
I seconded it.
And roll
My
call?
second didn't count.
I already recorded Maureen seconded it.
I tried.
Roll call?
Councilman Belcarro?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCabe?
Yes.
Councilman Pryor?
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider?
No,
Mayor McKay?
Yes. Let's see, next one. Rent leveling board. We have a person who has come forth who was been a part of this council in the past, but he came off and he spends his time sometimes in Florida, sometimes here, mostly here. And he's asked, that if he could become active and work with the folks in the rent leveling board. So his name is Braniello. Is he here? Fran, you here? No, not here? Okay.
Is that for the term, Ms. DeVos's term that was up this year, or is that for the unexpired term of,
Stephanie Wilson.
just to be clear for the record?
I had the term
New
at
term?
12/31/17. That would be his term, so.
who is he
Which person is
replacing?
he
Does
replacing?
he have a vacant here?
Is he replacing the vacant spot or the termed spot?
Aren't those three-year appointments?
I don't have it in front of me. There's one vacancy and there's
Right.
one expiring term.
Right.
Right. Mr. Boss is
I believe one
expiring.
expires, Ms. DeVos expires this year, so you can put
2015.
someone in
To
for
18,
3 years.
18. All right, so
And
we'll
they
do
have a
18.
vacant spot.
And then we still have it unopened.
You had a resignation, and that's
Yeah.
through the end of this year, 16.
Right. So that's, I think, a mayor with council consent, so we have to vote.
Well, I think we need someone that's here year-round to handle the duties of that job.
Well, he's here almost all the time, just occasionally.
Well, almost isn't all the time.
I would just,
We do, Mr. Mangucci's on as well.
I mean, it may possibly be,
There's other people.
maybe
Mr.
Mr. Boss would
Mangucci-
like to renew it.
Mr. Mangucci's an old friend of his. They served together on council.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about this.
I would just recommend that whoever you appoint, you just advise them there are some statutory obligations about serving, about missing a certain number, depending on how often it meets, so I would just advise them about that.
Rent leveling board met once last year.
They meet
twice.
every 2 months.
Not according to.
Look at the minutes, there's,
Yeah,
they were all
but-
canceled.
Business.
You can't say what's going to happen
right.
If
this
the
year.
meetings
But they
are
were all
canceled, it
canceled.
doesn't count towards them not coming. That's what I'm saying.
But they were almost all canceled.
Yeah, there was much activity.
So we don't know what's going to happen this year. It doesn't matter what happened last year. Things change. We have a new apartment buildings being built coming in. There's going to be potentially more work.
Right, we have Mr.
Mayor,
McGucci.
may I ask a question? We have the attendance requirements, but we don't know what Mr. Aiello is going to do. Why don't we just vote? He's either going to comply or not comply.
Joe, can you repeat that, please?
Pardon me?
I didn't hear what you said.
We can't speculate on
How many?
whether Mr. Aiello is going to be here or not. You know,
If you
he
look,
has credentials. He's been nominated. If attendance is a problem, we have a way of dealing with that, right, Katrina?
Yes, that's what I was trying to say. Thank you.
Okay.
We're doing just one or two, because you have,
Yeah, there's two
I only
openings.
have one so far, so another one will come along, I guess.
Maybe Ms. Tabas would be interested in renewing another term.
Well, she's on 2 committees already.
I think she's only
It's
on,
on EDAC,
Board of
and she's now on zoning, so that's.
well, I mean, it's up to her, right?
no, she's established a relationship with the tenants and the landlord.
And has the knowledge of the job.
I think once you're on the planning board and zoning board, there's restrictions about serving on other boards, Katrina?
Yes, I'm not exactly sure this, I'd have to check the zoning statute, but
Okay.
definitely the planning board.
Yeah, so.
Okay. So we'll look into it.
it's your, never mind.
But we have to make a vote.
Right.
So do we have
A motion.
You made a motion?
I'll make a motion
All
for
right,
Fran
so
Aiello.
a second?
Second,
Roll call?
Councilman Belcarro?
Yes.
Councilwoman McKay?
Say no, I think we need someone that's here all the time. No.
Councilman Pryor?
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider?
yes.
Mayor McKay?
Yes. Lopatcong Recreation Commission.
That is a council appointment, I understand.
Yeah, I think the council.
It was changed recently, and I would like to nominate 3 people. There are 3 vacancies.
Why don't we each go and do one? Because I have another.
Well, okay, it's our point, but go ahead. You
Well,
make,
it's everyone's.
you make
It's
it.
everyone's.
You're allowed, yeah.
I know that Eric Johnson serves on that committee, and his term's expiring, so I would, and he wants to continue, so I would nominate him to continue.
I'm sorry, I don't have him as expiring. I have him as,
Here
17.
to-
No,
He's not
2017.
What?
Who's here
His
to-
term began at 15.
It depends what you mean by expiring. Okay. No, I have him good yet, right?
You're still on, Eric.
Okay, who do you guys?
All right, I'd like to reappoint Lori Cheslow. And then we have 2 resumes in. Matt Herzer and Sarah Lutz. Sarah's active on the some of the veterans things. I met her through Bill Nixon. Good worker, solid volunteer.
Yeah, I agree with those.
I second it.
Would you like me to roll call then?
Yeah.
Councilman Belcarro?
Yes.
Councilwoman McKay?
Yes.
Councilman Pryor?
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider?
Yes.
Mayor McKay?
Okay. Now, I believe, I don't know, I don't have to bring up the mayor's wellness because that's not in the official list of things yet, but it will be. There are several members. I believe that, Marla Endick, are you going to be going with them, mayor's wellness? Yes, you would like to, okay. And that means you'll leave the economic development or you'll stay? You're not sure. All right, so we will have that coming up. I have to have some people there determine what the state wants us to do with that, and if we have to do an ordinance or whatever. All to come. I think that's all of them, right?
Moving to 28 now.
Yeah, I'm not adding anybody to the EDAC committee at this point. I feel the EDAC committee has failed in its mission. It doesn't do anything. We really should think about maybe reconstituting it and shutting it down. Because I've been mayor for a year and I haven't gotten even a text or an email, or no call or anything from them to advise me on what we should do with the economy. And, unless they want to be active in doing things, I see no point to keep them. One of the things they're supposed to do is to take a survey of the, all the land and buildings that the township has, and I would love to have that done. And determine if we need everything we've got and whether any of it might be saleable. And we could then put that forth and sell it.
I've been giving you updates on the EDAC as my reports last year.
Well,
And
the only thing I
one
have
of the
here is that
things-
you broke even selling cards. What else have you done? Maybe I missed it.
One of the thing you just mentioned, that's not something we were to do.
It's in the ordinance.
No, it's not. To find out, to go. No, it's not. Continue.
I mean, you may pleasantly surprise me by starting to, get things done that's expected of the committee, and I would love that. I mean, we have a serious situation here, and, we need all the help we can get to give us ideas on what to do to pull out of it. And,
And there's nothing wrong with giving some suggestions to the EDAC committee either. So communication goes both ways, Mr. Mayor.
I think that committee advises the mayor. But you're right.
Well, you just complained you didn't hear anything, so you could pick up the phone, you could have an email. I'm here all the time, and there was no comments, nothing until tonight. Once again, there's no comments, no communications with any of us until tonight.
That's it. That's right.
That is right.
No, it's not.
Make up your mind.
All right, back to this thing. Where are we now?
Beth, we've jumped to number 25 now. We've done 23, 24.
Yeah, we're on number 28, which is
Yes.
resolution
All right.
25.
Number 25 is to appoint the Finance Committee, and I appoint Donna and Joe to the Finance Committee.
Thank you. Look forward to it.
I think that doesn't need a vote. That's me.
Right.
Yeah.
We should jump to number 28, which is resolution 25 at this point. Your temporary
Yes,
budget.
we have to approve the temporary municipal and sewer budget to continue operating until such time as we have a final budget.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We need to vote. That's
Oh,
numbers.
yeah, we
have to
gotta vote.
Councilman Belcaro?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCabe?
Yes.
Councilman Pryor?
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider?
Yes.
Mayor McKay?
Yes. That was 28 we just skipped to. We did the governing body appointments, right? I think we did with the governing body appointments, 23, right?
Mhm.
Yes. On 29 now, number 29.
29, appoint the Funds Commissioner. Now, I had appointed Donna to be the Funds Commissioner because, I thought it was time that somebody else got a handle on that. Maureen, you've had that for several years.
Several years.
No?
I haven't been in office for several years.
Yes, you have.
You're on your fourth year. What do you consider several?
I wasn't
No, you
fun-
were just the first year this year as the
fun
commissioner.
Oh, first time I thought you had done that for a long time.
No,
Oh,
I
no?
haven't.
Okay.
But, it would be nice to talk to me about that prior to the meeting.
Well, as it is, I guess that's on hold. As your fund commissioner formal appointment.
Yeah, we'll put it
So I'll
on.
stay in as the alternate. So I do all the insurances until such time as it's decided.
Okay.
Yeah, I've already established the line of communication with the insurance company.
Okay, moving on to old business.
Well, no, we have a motion. I have to be the alternate, so if you want to complete that?
Second, on the Beth being the alternate.
Yes. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Beth is the second. Old business, approve executive and regular session minutes for November of 12th of 2015. Were they distributed?
Motion,
Yes.
yes, last year.
Second.
And I recently sent them to you again.
Yes, okay. We have a second?
Yes.
All right, vote please.
Councilman Belcaro?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCabe?
Yes.
Councilman Pryor?
I believe I have to abstain.
You do.
Yeah, I
Councilwoman
made that
Schneider?
mistake.
No.
Mayor McKay?
I made the changes, so I have to vote yes on that.
Thank you.
All right. Ordinance number 2016-01. First reading of an ordinance of the Township of Lopatcong, County of Warren, State of New Jersey, authorizing the sale of the fire truck.
Okay, I spoke with Chief Brian Quigley from Oxford, and he has agreed to accept the truck for the $3,500 that we discussed at our last meeting last week. He would like to know if we would allow him to take the truck to store it, because as it is right now, we have it out. It's out exposed to the elements, and which could cause potentially further damage. We've been very fortunate with our winter weather so far, so I think, I know this has to go through first reading, second reading, but if it's possible, we could allow them, after proving that they have insurance, to take the truck so that they can store it.
Can't we lease it to them for $1 for 2 months?
You could.
And then you'll insure it?
They'll provide us a
Can we try that?
certificate. He said he'd provide us a certificate of insurance.
In order to lease the property, you have to do the same ordinance. And there's still a
It's still first
procedure.
and second reading.
Yeah.
So, but I think if we allow them to
What I
store it.
recommended last meeting when this was raised is that, provided they provide you with proof of insurance, they sign an indemnification agreement, agreeing that they are storing it if something happens to you, the building burns down and the truck is gone. Also asking them to submit a payment to my office to be held in escrow,
All right.
and that way
That's fine.
the township doesn't take the funds until your ordinance is passed, and they don't start using the truck until, so I'll put that into an agreement,
Till
as
it's
long as
paid.
that's
Yeah,
acceptable to council.
And then we have to pass title over to them as well. Right, so I think if we could have, I guess, the fire chief talk with him and get that moving right away.
He's here tonight.
He's sitting in the back
Yes,
there.
oh, okay.
All right.
So motion.
We need a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Belcarro?
Yes.
Councilwoman McKay?
Yes.
Councilman Pryor?
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider?
Yes.
Mayor McKay.
Yes. Okay, Resolution 1527, memorializing the hire of Chief Financial Officer.
We hired, first off, I want to just say there's some typos in Janice's name in the resolution. It's spelled 2 different ways.
I'll fix it.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to welcome Janice Epinaro. She has accepted the position of CFO. She will be here full-time, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and she accepted a salary of $77,500 for the position. Janice came in with, she's got the ball rolling already, and she's doing a great job in trying to identify the issues within the finance office. We haven't had a CFO in a long time, and we're trying to get things back on track, and she's already got some budget ideas. So I'd like to welcome Janice, and she's very knowledgeable, and she seems to have an open door policy, so I believe if anybody ever needs any questions answered, she'd be happy to do it. So welcome, Janice. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Janice, could you let the folks see you? So,
And are you making that motion?
Welcome.
Thank you.
So I'd like to make a motion to memorialize the hiring of the CFO, Janice Epinaro.
I'll second that motion. Okay, roll call, please.
Councilman Belcarro?
Yes.
Councilwoman McKay?
Yes.
Councilman Pryor?
yes,
Councilwoman Schneider?
Yes.
Mayor McKay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, Resolution 1528, memorializing the hire of a tax assessor. I believe there was one edit to that.
Yes, Mayor, there, on this resolution, we had originally, we were going to extend a certain dollar amount for this position, and we just changed it. So now we need to go back to our candidate to see if he will accept
Okay.
the position with the new salary.
Okay.
So, do you want me to just make the,
I'll make the motion conditioned upon his acceptance.
okay, so I'd like to make the motion to memorialize the hiring of the tax assessor based on our new salary that we'd like to extend him. And we will await his response. Hopefully tomorrow we'll get that.
All right, second. I'll second it. Roll call.
So that was,
Councilman Belcarro?
Yes.
Councilwoman McKay?
Yes.
Councilman Pryor?
Yes?
Councilwoman Schneider?
yes.
Mayor McKay.
Yes. Approve payment to Dulane Contracting in the amount of $23,995.98 for work completed on the Route 57 pump station project. Motion.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Councilman Valcarro.
Yes.
Councilwoman McCabe.
Yes.
Councilman Fryer.
Yes?
Councilwoman Schneider.
Yes.
Mayor McKinney.
Yes. And this is one I'm very glad to see on here. Sewer discount for seniors and disabled account holders. I think, Joe, are you behind this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
My first ordinance, we're not introducing anything tonight. We put it before the council for discussion. Lopatcong operates a sewer utility. That means those funds are segregated, and it's a self-supporting utility in terms of debt and so on. We operate under the Municipal and County Sewage Act, and that act specifies how we can set our rates. In general, the rates must be uniform and equitable. That means everybody in a class of users has to pay the same rate. There's an exception for that in the law, one exception, and it's for seniors and disabled folks who meet certain income thresholds. It's specified in the act. It's hard to determine the number of folks who would qualify. I made a very, very rough analysis. It's something we certainly could afford. My suggested approach is we initially set a discount of 10%. That allows people to enroll in the program, and we'll get a feel for how many are eligible. And we can always tweak it going forward. So I've given a memo to council. I have the background information. I have the statute. I have a draft of the ordinance, which Katrina will have to look at. My schedule, the proposed schedule is we'd like to have questions answered among ourselves, and Katrina's review done by next month. I'd like to have the first reading next month, second reading a month after, and that would let us get the discount going for the second quarter's billings. So there's nothing to vote on. It's in front of you. That's the explanation.
Okay, well, I think it's a great idea, and let's get it moving.
Yeah, I like the idea as well. I think other townships do this with their seniors.
Yes, we're not breaking ground here. It's in the statute.
Right.
Towns do it.
Okay, now we move into council reports. We don't have bills?
No, we don't.
Do we have to take action on a few issues from our executive session? Do we have to authorize Beth to, for number 1, to send a letter? Do we have to do something about that?
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, we're going to do that in council report?
If you'd like, I can do it right now.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. There's been some concerns about our volunteers and some of the things that our volunteers say and do around the town, and just to understand that they are representatives of our township. And we put together a letter just reminding new members of the town that are on committees and boards.
All
And
members.
old-
All members.
Yes. Would you like to do it, Maureen? Because you didn't let me finish and I would like
Please
for you not to
continue. You were
interrupt
saying
me.
new, and I didn't want you to be
Because you
misinterpreted.
didn't let me finish.
Oh, excuse me.
Maureen, let her finish, please.
Please finish.
So, as I was saying, it is going out to all of our folks that volunteer in the town, new folks, old folks, any folks that have been here, and that do participate in anything within the township. It's just a reminder, it's a gentle reminder of letting folks know what kind of some standards that the township would appreciate from these folks, because they are an extension of the township. So just so everyone knows, there will be a letter going out. So that's all we need. And I need to authorize Beth to have that letter sent out to all of our volunteers.
Second. You have to vote.
And we're not voting, correct? It was just letting you,
We're just doing
right,
okay.
right.
Okay.
Yeah, we taking care of the things that are on executive,
Yes.
and I would, do 4, 5, and 8. Feel like I can go.
I guess I could do it. We are going to pass the contract with the Lopatcong Athletic Association, which has had some amendments made to it, back to the Lopatcong
Yeah, you're just
Association.
authorizing me
Yeah.
to send the draft that you have with a cover letter explaining that it is still a draft, and it hasn't been approved by council, but we wanted to start the discussion process, and explaining why there's a couple blanks and why they're blank and why we're trying to have a discussion. So you're just authorizing me to forward it on to the LAA with the cover letter.
Yes. The next item has to do with where we should have our money, in which bank we should have it. And our new CFO has already come up with a good idea. We should send out a standardized RFP to all the banks that are interested, and then get them to come back to us with what they're willing to offer us. And this way, everything is in the same format. And so we can tell, we can easily compare one with the other. So we're going to put that in place, and we're going to go get those. Now, the last item is the Phillips Park High School intersection. We've approved some compensation to be paid to landowners adjacent to the driveway where the new intersection is going to be. Very small amounts, relatively speaking.
You haven't approved them yet.
Well,
I'm asking.
we're making a motion to approve. So I will ask for a motion to be made in that regard.
Motion.
Do I have a
Second.
second? Do I have a
Second.
second? May I have a roll call?
Councilman Belcarro?
Yes.
Councilwoman McKay?
Yes.
Councilman Pryor?
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider?
Yes.
Mayor McKay?
Yes. Back to council reports. Councilwoman Schneider, you have, you began your council report. Do you have anything else that you wish to talk about?
Yes. So right now, I don't have a finance committee report because I have not been able to reach the interim CFO that was here. I did not get to come in on her last day, which was the Saturday before New Year's. I was in an accident, so I could not get there. In any case, I've reached out to her to give me some reports, and I have not heard back from her. So as soon as I hear back from her, I will get that to you guys at the next meeting, and we'll have some talks about our finances and our budget and how it all shook out by the end of the year. It was a very difficult end of the year, having an interim, having a CFO that was here for a few months, an interim for a few months, and hiring a new one. So it's been a very difficult end of the year. So I'm hoping to get you guys some answers, and I will as soon as I get them. As far as DPW, they've been going around trimming our trees because our residents do not do it. And it's very difficult for them to get the plows through our streets. And every time they try and get close to the curb, the trees are in the way, and it just it wreaks havoc, and it takes so much time for them to do that. And that was one thing that we had asked the shade tree to do, is to hopefully maybe get some letters out to the folks here saying to make sure you trim your trees. There is an ordinance that shows where the height and all the requirements of your trees. So I would really, I would hope that that word gets out before we get a letter out, that people should start trimming their trees, because it actually is not the responsibility of our DPW to trim your trees, but they do it to make their job a little easier. I would like to start the year out by trying to get that letter out to folks, and this way everybody knows what the ordinance is, and they can take some time in doing that. We have the two new gentlemen that have been here for a couple of months now, full-time, and I think DPW is running a lot smoother. They're establishing a pattern, and things are getting done in a very efficient manner. So I'm hoping that the snow season will show their efforts. So they've been great. They've been very good, and I'm glad to have them aboard. As far as, there's a couple things I'd just like to say regarding some of the comments this evening about the finances and hiring of new professionals. When folks here say, let's not change for the sake of change, it is never my intention, nor I can speak for the mayor, I'm sure, never our intention to change for the sake of change. The change is needed. There have been so many back and forths here over the past couple of years on the finances and on the budget and on where money has gone, what's going on with this, what's going on with that, and it all seems to stem back to our audits. And my hope was to have a new auditor in here, to have a set of eyes in here, another set of eyes to say, hey, you know what? It's not as bad as what you're saying, Councilwoman Schneider. It's really not as bad as that. I would love for somebody to just come in and validate that for me. On the other hand, I'd love for somebody to come in and say, you know, well, I wouldn't love it. It would be nice if somebody came in to say, hey, there's some things going on and we need to fix them, because that's all I want to do is fix them. So changing for the sake of change is certainly not on my agenda. Change for some good for the year to try and get some answers to questions and have these things put to bed would be a great opportunity for us this year to have done. So also with our legal, and I know that Katrina said that it's not a conflict for our legal folks to contribute to PACs. It may not be legally a conflict, but I am really, really upset that our professionals do support these PACs. There has been 2 times hate mail have gone out about the mayor and I. We're not even up for election. 2 times these ridiculous propaganda left, it got into all of your hands. And the funds to do that came from this PAC. I can tell you that the bank that we used to use currently is the bank for the PAC. I can tell you that after I spoke with our attorneys after the first hate mail went out and expressed my concerns that they were contributing to this PAC, they went ahead and gave an even bigger donation. I can tell you, unfortunately, Land of Make-Believe made a big donation to that PAC, but my children don't go there anymore. Mazer Consulting as well, I made a statement at a meeting saying that I was disappointed in them that they had also contributed to the PAC, and then I'm not sure if they bumped theirs up or not, but they did again make another donation for $900. There has been 2 donations made to Louis Belcaro and Joseph Pryor, and these funds for their campaigns, I'm guessing, it doesn't say it's for their campaigns, but it says going directly to them. I'm guessing that's for their campaigns, and when you look at these records, that's where the money has gone, everything for Lopatcong. So I believe it's everything for Lopatcong, I do. And it is really hard for me to sit up here and think that I have representation and independent representation. It's very hard for me to sit up here and do that. I really am just very upset that this continues to go on and that nobody wants to make the change. Nobody wants to realize why these changes aren't being made. And I really hope that everyone here, also, I would like to say before I end with that, a gentleman on our Board of Education, his wife is also the treasurer for this. So we have problems here. We have problems with our budgets in the board, and it all seems to tie all around to the same group of people. And it's really, really hard to sit up here and say that I want change for the sake of change. It's definitely not for the sake of change. Thank you.
No, it's not. It's very uncomfortable when you're subject to these things and they come to your house and your kids see them. And you know that the professionals that work for your township that you're on the council for are sending it indirectly. They're sending it through a PAC, but they're funding the PAC. So that's a big problem for us. Big problem for the town. It shouldn't be going on. Anywhere it's bad. Okay. Council reports. Mr. Belcaro.
I don't have anything new to add, but I have Dan Manning here tonight. We could speak on where we are as far as the readings with.
Yeah, I reached out to the Phillipsburg engineer. There appears to be an error in
Yeah.
your meetings. So they're looking into it. I've also asked operator to check the meters, help make sure everything's flowing. There's not a back charge, something preventing the flow from, going through and
Right.
really cause false reading. So they're going to look into that. Hopefully resolve that issue.
Okay, thank you.
And,
Yeah, I could add a little bit to that. We got a bill from Phillipsburg. We have 3 lines, I guess, that we paid Phillipsburg to take the sewage from us. And in one of the lines, the amount of sewage that was flowing through the line, according to Phillipsburg, doubled, and so did the bill. And so we got where we normally would expect $250,000 bill. We got almost $400,000 bill. So this was a big surprise, but we're handling it. We gave a decent payment to them. We gave the average of the last 3 quarters plus the money that they get for tax. And, we're working it out. Mr. Madden's talking to them. I'm sure that it will be worked out. Unfortunately for our budget, however, you have to encumber the amount of the entire bill that comes in. And so we might put us over for the budget for the year by a little bit, but we'll recoup it the next year. So that's what I wanted to add.
okay. Anything else would you like to add,
We're
Dan?
almost at the end of the contract for Route 57 pump stations. A couple little items left over that we're hopefully button up this month. There's one issue that DPW has asked that we reverse the
gate
side of the gate.
Yeah.
Contractor, I asked him to, the original gate position was approved because that was just 50% of people have it on the inside, some have it on the outside. So the way it is approved, and the contractor says I have to be compensated to have this replaced, fixed, or changed over. So he's giving me a price. I asked him that just a couple months ago. He said they had to get back to the vendor, and they did not get back to me today. So
I can't imagine it's a big price.
$2,800.
What? $2,800? How big is the gate?
So, I mean, they have to have mechanics out here.
You have to re-weld.
It's a big gate. It's a sliding gate. It's big.
It's a matter of welding, unwelding some of the brackets.
Well, we still have money in the.
Yeah, there's plenty of money.
Yeah.
And also, if you'd like to update us on where we are with the USDA.
Yeah, I have to get a form signed and proceed with that and submit all the reports and design. We've had some discussions about what we're going to do. So we're ready to roll with that.
Is there a time frame on that submission?
I do not know. I will verify that.
Okay.
Okay, Brian, you have something to say?
There's more issues with the gate than just the slide. I don't know how much that thing costs in total, okay? But when you put a gate up, all right, it's got a little spot, glass comes in, block goes into that. You don't wrap a chain around it because you screwed it up. You fix it. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what it's going to be brought out, and it needs to be brought back. It needs to be made right. All right, I don't know what we spent $5,000 for this fence. It's an aluminum fence, I believe, right? Yeah, painted ground. But they're wrapping a chain around it, and I just talked to our sewer guy the other day, Ray. He said he couldn't even get his hand in there when the lock froze. All right, to get in there on the lock. So they got to do it right. So I would like to be their hand when they do it.
They did come back and realign everything.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, I need to make sure
We
it's
just need
done.
to get it.
Yeah, let's lock it right, let's do it right.
Right.
They don't need that chaining where it comes home.
Well, I'd like you to let me know.
Sure.
We're there, I'd like to be part of that.
Okay.
Afterwards,
Okay.
Okay, very good, Brian.
Thank you. All right. Is that it, Lou? Got your report?
I think that's it for today.
Okay, thanks. Maureen?
Just general announcement, I guess, I don't know if we do this already, but the Christmas trees, if you have them, you want to leave them out, DPW will be picking them up till the end of the month. Yeah, January 31st, I think is the last pickup. Secondly, Lori Chesla had transferred duties to me at the last meeting just to cover the interim time period when we appointed our new council president. So I will transfer them, make a motion to transfer them back to you. It was just to have that report to the council president. So I give that back to Joe Pryor as council president.
Is that a motion?
Yeah, do I have to motion that? Yeah, motion.
Second?
Councilman Belcarro?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCabe?
Yes.
Councilman Pryor?
I'm going to say yes for now until I can get familiar with the whole situation.
Thank you. Councilwoman Schneider?
Abstain.
Mayor McKay?
Abstain.
Do we have to give reasons for abstaining?
No.
Yeah,
Yes.
you do. We're following
It's a
record.
very long story, and it starts with the hiring of a lawyer that wasn't even encumbered in our budget, and it continues to go on from there, and I will not sit here for another hour bringing that story up. So yes, that's what it has to do with.
I would just ask if your abstention is due to a conflict, just state that because you don't count towards the quorum when your abstention is due to a conflict, that's all.
It's not due to a conflict.
What's it do?
Abstain.
That's all I have.
New guy. What do you got?
Well, I haven't done anything other than what I've done in the last hour. So,
2 hours. 2
Well,
Two
it's got the
hours.
discount suggestion for the seniors.
Yeah, my feeling is if you don't want to vote for a professional, don't vote for a professional. I would really like to just keep the politics out of the council meetings. That's for another place.
Definitely not
election-
politics.
Well, I mean, if you have a complaint, you go to the election commission. If you don't want to vote for somebody because they didn't support you, fine.
That's
But,
not the reason at all.
I really don't
Mr.
wanna-
Pryor.
I don't think it's good to waste the public's time with that.
You're right. That's not the reason
All
at
right,
all.
well,
It's not the
that's my
support of
comment
the-
for now,
of them.
so.
I think Joe's making a comment and let him
Yeah,
finish.
that's right. And I did.
No, you didn't.
I'm good, yeah,
You good?
yeah.
I don't know, I guess I could add some things I wanted to bring up. Fine. My report's kind of like a little glimpse of the year that in the past, of the year we just had. We did start baseline budgeting this year, and I know that people have been going around bad-mouthing baseline budgeting like it's the
Zero
something
base.
from hell or something. And-
Zero base.
I'm sorry, what do I call it, baseline?
Yeah.
Zero-based budget. They're both the kinds, that's the kind we use. And all it really means, you go and you sit down with the people who are responsible for the money and you say, this is how much you spent it last time and what you spent it on. What do you think you can do this time? Let's go over all the items. Maybe we could do better on this, maybe we can't. But at least I want you to be fully familiar with what you're doing. And in large part, I think it was well received, and I think it worked well. We didn't get through it with everybody. It was the first shot at it. You don't do it every year. Once you get people used to it, maybe you do it every several years. You just get them back into the fold and say, hey, look, maybe we could get this somewhere else better. What do you think? And it's just a way of engaging your people and trying to get the best prices that you can for everything you're buying. So I think that helped us because we didn't have a property tax increase, and we didn't increase borrowings. So we were able to get through the year without giving you an increase in taxes or increasing our borrowings. We did, I guess it was a good fortune, we were able to negotiate the sinkhole, and we saved 6 figures on that. We also got a replacement dump truck out of that negotiation, which Brian's folks are driving around and we'll be pushing your snow with. And Mrs. Diltz also was good enough to remember that we had energy credits coming our way, and we managed to have those sold, and that put up enough money to buy the second dump truck pretty much. And a lack of salt being used during this year, and a little bit of a decrease in the price in petrol. And we were able to buy 3 lawnmowers, those big riding mowers that are very expensive. We also were able to buy a new SUV police car. So we got a lot done, and we didn't have to raise your taxes or borrow money to do it. And that's because, in large part, I think, because we thought about how we were spending the money. I don't know if this is going to be sustainable at this level forever. It really can't be. Municipal budgets should go up every year with inflation. That just means, because you're paying more for things and you got to go up. And that's the way capitalism works. That's the way economies work. So if your taxes go up as much as inflation, then you're doing pretty good. If it goes up a lot more than inflation, then some explanation needs to be made. We are we just hired a new CFO and I think a new assessor. We're not sure, but we think so. So we're starting 2016 off right. I think we have to concentrate on reserve replenishment because our reserves are gone. Debt reduction. Now, this year we were able to reduce debt because we didn't borrow any more money and some debt paid down. So it's going down. It always will go down over time. As long as they don't put on any new debt that's unnecessary, then we'll be doing pretty good. And then we need to develop a written capital plan. This is real important. We need to know what we're going to spend our capital dollars on going forward. We need to be able to address the roads, but we have to do it in a logical and sensible fashion and do it by the worst roads first or the most heavily traveled roads first. We started that process last year. Brian was very helpful with it. I'd like to see that get into a formalized written document this year so we know how much dollars we need for the next 5 years to fund capital expenditures. At least have a decent idea. Be pretty close. So that's another thing I'd like to see done. Our police chief, I think he's talking about retirement this summer, so that's why we appointed Lieutenant Garcia to the position of 9/11 coordinator. That's a big issue. 9/11 matters because of terrorism all over the country, and it's the principal topic at the upcoming mayor's convention in Trenton later this month. So I think it's something we better get on board with and make sure we know what's going on there. So those are just some small things I wanted to say. I want to welcome Joe to the council. I'm hopeful that he will be helpful in keeping things going well here. I think we have to, remember that we started this government, myself, I started last year, and I didn't get a lot of cooperation. It was very difficult for me. And I'm hoping that in the future, these things will be behind us and that we will be able to better coordinate things. I mean, everything got done in the town. Everything always got done. There was no people standing on the streets with their houses burning down and fire engines not responding, and where the police cars were out and the BPW trucks were out. It was all working around, but it was just a lot of change for a lot of people very quickly, and a lot of people don't care to have change, and it's difficult for them. So, I think we can all help this township. I think we can all make this township a better place to live, but we have to cooperate more. And I think my feeling was tonight was a good start on that. So that's what I have to say. That's my report. I'm concerned that I don't see a bills list. Now, are we going to get one? Because we have to pay bills.
No, we don't pay bills until you close your year end down in 2015.
Right.
But there's certain bills we have to.
Pay bills in the month of January.
I know, but we always get those few bills.
There could be some interim.
I think the police car lease comes up, if I remember right. That's big. So we'll have to, all right. I don't want to have to call a council meeting to pay that. What we could do is we could make a resolution to authorize payment of bills up to a certain dollar amount that may arise and be necessary to pay before the next meeting in February. How do you feel about that, council?
We have one in place already, up to 1,500.
Yeah,
Up
up
to
to
1,500, but I'm
that's
thinking
not
there's some
enough.
big
Right.
bills. The police car bill is big.
But I think we have to be careful.
That's the lease payment.
How much we authorize in the
Oh, there's a huge penalty if you don't.
Well, I guess,
When is it due?
can we do
I
it
don't know.
for
I don't know.
one month and then take the resolution away, or just not at all?
Then you pay bills that large without.
Council
All
consent.
right, if you don't want to do it, we won't do it, but remembering that it may result in a material penalty for not paying it on time. That's what
But
I
you don't know when it's due, do you?
I don't remember exactly. There's a lot of things that come up like that I really don't know. The CFO will know, but she's new and she doesn't yet, so.
You just brought it up, so I wanna.
Yeah, because it came to my mind as I was talking. All right, the council doesn't want to do that. What?
We do it.
Yeah,
Well,
that's advertising.
as a former business owner, I used to count on getting paid. So, I mean, if it's a hardship to somebody, they should get paid. I don't know the mechanics of it.
We don't have the specifics either.
Normally, the bills paid list is approved at the council meeting.
No, that I understand.
And there's a small amount in between. Not every town does it that way.
Did we approve
We just
them at the
approved the
closeout?
list
At the closeout?
Yes, last week.
Yeah, we're only a week away. I don't think, it's not like we're missing a month, right?
Well,
Right.
the next meeting's next.
Well, if we need that
Yeah, but
special meeting-
it's from the closeout to the first meeting in February, right?
Correct.
I think
We
We
have to
can-
do it, we have to close it.
we could probably do that.
Yeah.
Get away with that.
Okay. Where's my list? Do I have anything else? I have the report of the CFO. The CFO is new. Do you wish to make a report or just say? You might want to wait till next time. It's up to you. Next time?
I have, I've been here only 2 days, and I want to thank you for welcoming me. And it's been quite an arduous 2 days. The office has a lot going on because, as we know, no one has been here, and you can't have someone part-time taking care of running the finances of a town. So I'm requesting a few things that I might need assistance to put the puzzle together. I'm requesting that we still have Phyllis available for myself to use her on the weekends to assist me, and she has given me great insight on what I need. Because I haven't been able to meet with the temporary CFO, Christine.
Right.
She's coming Friday, and I think she has a couple other towns, and once you step off, I don't think you're as interested as coming in besides once or twice. So I figure she's might not be around. And Phyllis has great knowledge. I also would like to keep in place anything that's going on. The tax collector's been helping me. She has some knowledge as well. So I'd like that, and whatever arrangements were made with that, I'd like to have that done. I'd like to request the auditors to come in and assist with the bank recs, as I'm hearing different levels of the bank recs. There's seems to be a bunch of different accounts, many more accounts than are necessary. And in
From
order
the
to,
changing of the banks.
in order to close out the year, every bank account has to be reconciled. And that's a lot from what I've seen. Christine hasn't finished it. And then after the reconciliation is done, it has to be reconciled to the computer, to the bank rec, to all the reports, to the funds. Everything has to match. And that's, with a lot of those accounts, it's tough. So I'd like to, maybe we could talk to the auditors, engage them in some kind of conversation, what they think they might be able to assist with. I know we're considering hiring somebody. I'm requesting that person to be full-time, because in order to get out all these purchase orders with one monthly meeting, I think that we need someone to sit there and do the payroll and the purchase orders, and someone that possibly has municipal experience. We also need the auditors in to assist in the AFS and the ADS. They have statutory dates, and they're coming quickly, January 31st, and then the other one's in February. And we really need this done. Right now, I'm working on, we were talking about the RFP for the banks. That needs to be done very quickly as well, because we need to get the money in one bank with one rate to start replenishing our fund balance, because we really need to start budgeting as well. I mean, the budget's coming up. We have to do that as well. And then I'm reconstructing the books. They do not coincide right now with any information, so it's very hard to go through them. So I've been just reconstructing account numbers and putting things in right places and deleting things. And it's an arduous process. So I'm requesting some assistance so that we can close out the year, because otherwise we cannot really pay bills. And in answer to your question, in the other towns I've worked in, there, and Katrina, maybe you could assist me with this if there's something in place. The CFO has always had the ability to make a manual check and put it on the following month's bill list. And that's what's usually done. The trust is in the person who is handling the money to make that decision. So if there's a bill coming up and it has to be paid, I was able to pay a bill, no matter the amount. We put on the following bills list. And of course, you check with, administrator / mayor and say, this bill is here, we need to get this done, and we make a decision. And that's usually how, I don't know if there's something in place.
In the past, the council has authorized up to $1,500 to be That way they figure, no matter how many checks you write, if they can't be more than 15, that's what they allow, and then you can put it on the next bill list. That's what they have in place now.
Okay.
Right, it's still in place,
Okay.
which that will get JCP and things like that, right? That's what
Yeah,
gets.
there's utilities.
Yeah, we might want to consider just having some sort of system for an emergency situation, because incurring any more fees and anything like that would not
Yeah, I
be
tell
good
you,
right
we
now.
spend
Mhm.
thousands of leaves.
And that would really assist in what we have ahead of us.
Okay. We just talked about allowing you to go out and maybe you can get some bids for the banks that we spoke about. And this way everything's uniform and you can get everything in the same way and you can make an educated decision on them, because what we had was, just some stuff on paper, and it was very hard to try and see which bank would be the best fit for us. So if you can do that, we also have our auditors here. John, if you're okay with that stuff? Okay, thank you. We'll have to, I guess we've already authorized Phyllis and Rachel
Yeah, but it may have, the way you worded it may have said while
only in,
the interim was here, so it's
Yeah.
probably a good idea to just memorialize, and this way you give Janice that, she knows that can utilize those people if she
Okay.
needs to. So that's what council decides. I would just make a motion and kind of refresh those things.
okay, so I guess I could make a motion to continue to allow Rachel, our tax collector, Rachel Edinger, and Phyllis, our deputy clerk, to, if they're agreeable, we'd have to check that first to make sure they're agreeable to do that. Phyllis is here. Agreeable? Okay, well, I'm sure Rachel would be too, but we'll ask her, and if she agrees to continue to help in your office on the weekends or nights, after hours, whatever you guys come up with, just to get some of this stuff going and stop our late fees and everything else that's happening. So I'd like to make that motion. And at the current rate, we had $30 an hour for Phyllis. Was, yeah, I'd like to offer 30 for both, because we do have a CFO here now. She's not taking on the entire role of doing that, so I would like to say 30 for both, 30 per hour for both.
We had Rachel doing it for 50.
She's doing the payroll.
50. I don't really think we should decrease that. We should leave it as is.
I agree.
I mean, if Rachel then
I
says
mean, if
no,
she was
then
worth
where are
50
we?
at one point,
Right.
she's certainly
We
worth
can't
it.
reduce.
Well, I'm not saying she's not worth it. Don't put words in my mouth. That's not, yeah, I
That's
would
not the
never
point.
say that any employee's not worth it. What I was saying is she was taking on a lot more than just that without a CFO. And we do have a CFO that's here full-time every day. So I was asking to decrease that a little bit and try and help us all out while still getting a fair overtime rate.
Well, I think the CFO had expressed that concern that there's a lot to be done as well. So I think we should leave the pay as we agreed last year and leave it the same and continue it.
We would hope that if there's less work to be done, there'll be less hours that are actually worked.
Yeah, I just want everything to stay the same until I really get my feet on the ground. So, I mean, I don't want to upset the apple cart right now.
Well, I'll
Okay,
make the-
so
I'll make the motion to
well,
redo
I was
it as
just
a
in the
30.
middle of a motion.
Oh, sorry. You're in the middle of the motion.
I'd like to, so then I would like to change that a little bit. Then if we're going to continue to do $50 an hour for Rachel and $30 an hour for Phyllis, I'd like to do it for a period of no longer than 30 days and then reevaluate at the 30 days.
Okay. Second. Roll call, please.
Councilman Delcaro?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCabe?
Yes.
Councilman Pryor?
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider?
Yes.
Mayor McKinney?
Yes. Now, add to that, when we interviewed, we had some people one person in particular, that might have been suitable as a second person in the office.
That person had a full-time job already, so I think CFO needs a full-time person, according to what she just said. So that person would be...
Yeah, I don't know what she was looking for, but I mean, you move from one full-time job to another
That's right.
if it's enticing.
Well, I guess we can talk about that. I guess, is that something we need to do in executive to talk about the hiring of someone?
if you're going to
Work
talk
to
about
talk.
the dollar amount you want to
Yes.
offer her, if you wanted to, in the meantime, reach out and
Yeah.
just see if she'd be
Reach out if there's
interested for this
interest.
different position than what she,
Mhm.
and say,
Well, when we have to advertise
We have
it,
to advertise and get
we can't
other-
offer somebody something without advertising it.
Civil service, yeah, I'm sorry.
We have to advertise and get other
That doesn't mean
interested.
you can't call her and say, we like you, we're advertising for this position.
Right, you
Like-
can make her aware that we will be advertising, but not offer her anything.
Can we maybe interview some people? And I mean, when you're at this level and she wants to jump up a level, I think that I don't want any
You want someone with
conflict.
experience.
I want someone with experience who knows what they're doing, but I don't want someone who, I mean, is more ambitious right now. We need just straight calm.
Well,
Do the job.
Just do the job. We don't need someone to look to be CFO who could have been CFO and now she's
well, of course.
getting asked to be second. I mean, that doesn't, I
All right,
don't
so I
want
guess what we have to do
work.
is advertise.
Then how
Yeah.
about this?
All right.
How about this? Why don't we advertise for part-time, potentially full-time, so it covers both? And we don't have to re-advertise if we decide to bring it to a part-time. This way, we can at least extend that and have people come in and see what they're willing to do. And we can all talk about salary and everything else and determine which one is going to be best for us at the next meeting. Does that sound okay for everybody?
But did you need a full-time?
I'm telling you, from my experience, and I've run
Yeah.
big departments and 50 employees, and I really think that we need someone full-time. I think we need someone who's knows what they're doing, but they're not looking to be certified and jump around, because either she's going to want to be CFO or she's going to be dissatisfied and she's going to leave here and go somewhere else.
CFO.
And then we're going to be in the same boat again. And I've seen it happen all too many times. So, I mean, we can advertise in the state league and municipalities.
Mhm.
There are plenty of qualified people who would love to probably come work, and maybe even up here that have the experience, and not just like being an assistant and doing the finance work, don't want to be in the limelight. And
Right.
we can have a nice solid base so there's no more moving around. I think you would all agree about that. We've had enough
Yes.
shifting of people, right?
Yes.
So I think we want stability. So I think it would be better to just advertise in the league and interview a bunch of people, all of us together.
Okay.
And I think it should be full-time. Yeah, definitely, because the amount of purchase orders and the filing, and then the payroll itself is just, after what I see the payroll is, and then, right now Rachel's doing the transfers as well, and then she has to input it. That's a job in itself
Mhm.
every other week. So I think we could keep someone busy. And if say perchance the office doesn't need a full-time person, we could then, I'm sure there's plenty of work to do, all over the place I see.
Yeah, but the office always had two people. That's-
I mean, there's a lot of work here that if if I didn't have something to, we could push her, maybe she could do the shade tree.
Well, and I guess that,
Well,
You
no,
have
the
to-
additional duties are,
well, you have to explore that too, because then you run into, it's a civil service position, and if you try and if you say, well, we're going to expand your duties, then we have to change their title, and then we have to give them extra
Keyboardist.
salary, and
How about if we
it works
just
that way.
in there, like, finance / general
Keyboarding
assistant, whatever.
keyboarding clerk covers everything.
And then you can add to it without
You
changing.
can go drive one of Brian's trucks if she feels like it on weekends.
There you go. I appreciate it, thank you.
All right. So Beth, you will undertake to submit stuff with that advertising, and Donna, you'll work with her to,
I would recommend you make a motion to authorize her
Yeah.
to spend the money to advertise it.
yes, all right.
It's money.
Motion that Clerk Dielz be authorized to advertise, spend money to advertise for the position of second person in the finance office. Do I have a second?
Second.
Would I have a roll call, please?
Yes, Councilman Belcarro?
Yes.
Councilwoman McKay?
Yes.
Councilman Pryor?
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider?
I'm going to abstain right now. I hate to rush into a full-time person right now, and I'm not saying, I'd hate to rush into that right this second. I'd like to have a little bit of time to think about that, and I'm saying 6 months, but I'd like to have a little time to think about a full-time versus a part-time and just sit with you and talk with you a little bit more than just the 5 seconds here.
What
So
is the part-time hours? It's 30?
under 20, 20 and under.
No, we like to do, it could be 20 and under, it could be 30 and under.
Isn't it 28 was the?
Nah, 30's fine. Yeah, we've had 30.
30 would do it, right? I mean, 35 is the work week.
Yeah, people working 30 hours.
So that's part-time.
Yes, it is.
Right, so I think we can do a part-time and give, I think, 30 hours as a part-timer instead of spending the extra money right now on a full-timer. I think the part-timer would work better.
Well, I think the CFO was explaining about the amount of work that has to be done. We need a full
They're probably less than a full applicants.
With the amount that you might offer, the benefits might entice someone to come, and I don't want anybody to leave. That just would, again, take and put us back into position. We'd have to put Rachel on payroll, we'd have to put Phyllis back in charge. So that's my thought behind it.
Okay. I guess you're gonna probably win the vote to get a full-timer, but I have to abstain. I just can't sit here right this second and say, yes, let's get a full-timer.
I'll
So,
explain
yeah.
Well, the motion is to
Thank you.
advertise.
But if you're advertising,
It's the roll, Mayor and the Cash,
Yes.
and the motion carries.
Okay. Yes. Engineer, have you a report?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have 2 items to review with the council tonight. Several meetings ago, there was a concern expressed by a resident regarding the lack of a stop sign at the intersection of South 6th Street and Dana Street here in the Morris Park section of the township. The remedy for that, in my opinion, is to designate South 6th Street as a through street, and you would do that by ordinance. There would have to be an amendment to that, and that would be consistent with some of the street designations in this area of the municipality. South 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th are all declared to be through streets in our ordinance. So I wanted to see if you would like me to develop that ordinance amendment for introduction at the February 3rd meeting.
Is it a through street? Does it go through? I don't know. Yeah.
It's a through street, but it's not designated as one by ordinance. And the advantage of doing that is that any side street that intersects a through street automatically is permitted to have a stop sign on it. You don't have to have a separate ordinance for that particular stop sign.
Is
So
this
that's
behind the medical building?
6th Street?
Consolidated?
It is, yes. It's to the west of that.
And do they need sort of access to the building and such? Is that what you're thinking?
No, this has to do with the fact that there are 1 or more side streets that do not have stop signs on them, most particularly Dana.
Okay, so it's a stop sign.
Yeah. So if the,
I was just going to ask, you got 6 now extends into Delaware Crossing since that opened.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are going that way. And Cromwell, the other cross streets, all have stop signs. It's one of the main stop signs.
Brian, you wanna?
so the council has no issues. I'll prepare that draft.
Brian has a,
I don't know. It's an issue we've been dealing with. 6th Street goes straight through, all right, Dana comes in, all right, it's like this. The hedges are right on the line. It's big, long hedges. All right, I don't know if you have a safety spot without, there, but the hedges up for a stop sign. They're right on the, I mean, they're within 6, 8 inches of the end of the road. They've been there for 50 years.
Yeah, I understand that condition exists there. I think South 6th Street should be a through street, so stop signs could be.
Yeah. You're saying that physically the hedges are where the stop sign should go.
Right.
Yeah. We may have to, to answer your question, we may have to talk to the resident that has those hedges there to be able to get them trimmed back to put the stop sign in. But we don't get there without doing this ordinance designation, so it's my recommendation to do that.
I didn't know if you were out of it. I was outlined.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely, that's part of the process. So I'll have that ordinance for the introduction at the next meeting. The other issue, we were talking a few minutes ago about capital projects. I just want to remind the council that we have a significant DOT local aid grant for South 2nd Street, which is behind us, behind the municipal building here. We did go out and do mapping on that particular roadway last year in order to do the design work. That's all was authorized at this point. In order to move forward, we really need to have the rest of the design work authorized, and we also need to develop an ordinance for the construction portion of the job. So I'd like to see that, because there are time limits with these grants. I'd like to see the council put forth the money to allow that project to get done, and we should do so early in the year. Our last local aid project got off to a late start in 2014, and we were paving around Thanksgiving, and November 2014 was very cold, and it was some difficult paving as a result of that. So if we were able to get these monies in place earlier in the year, we can get a design out the bid and built in more suitable weather. So I just wanted to remind everybody that and see if that's something that could be factored into the budget process early on in the year.
I have a question for you, Paul.
Sure.
As you drive around, you notice the roads are in such disrepair here. They're awful. And I go down Red School Lane, and I fear after this winter, if we have some snow on Red School Lane, it's not going to hold up, because it's just so old and it's thin. And I'm wondering, how do we go about looking at all our roads and making a list, going from worst to not so bad, and trying to figure out where we go with our capital plan? What roads do we start with? And is that something you do, or is that something
Yes.
we would?
Yeah, and we've done that in the past here. There was a significant amount of road work that was done between I would say 2004 and 2010. And then, the bad economy with fiscal issues here locally slowed down the pace of the roadway work. And we've gotten really to the point that the only roadway work we've been doing have been spot repairs, as well as roadways that we have DOT local aid funding for.
Mhm.
I mean, we did do all of Brakely Park, we did all of Rose Hill Heights, we did all of Delaware Park, and we've made some inroads here in Morris Park. But there's still other roadways here, and then there's other outlier roads that we had hoped to get to in the early part of this decade that we haven't gotten to.
Okay.
The Plaza roads, the Plaza drives, I know there's some serious issues with both of those particular roads. What really should be done is, we have notes on all these roads, and we can put together a report and suggest a prioritization of how to proceed with the balance of the paving at this point.
Okay, that'd be great if you could. Do we need an approval for Paul to do that, or we can wait until the next meeting and approve? How does
Maybe
does that
Paul, you
work?
could give us an idea how much it'll cost.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll have something for you to review at the February meeting
That'd be great.
for approval.
My kids are even saying, "Mommy, these roads are bumpy around here." So that'd be great. Thanks.
So, thank you very much.
Do we have to approve Paul to do the amendment for the South 6th Street to make it through? Do we have to do anything with that? No? Okay.
Okay, then we need a motion to approve the department reports as they've been submitted. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
May I have a roll call, please?
Aye.
Aye. That's not a roll call, but that's okay.
Yeah, I was silent because I was expecting roll call.
Okay, then I guess we are ready to do audience participation. So motion to go into audience participation.
Motion.
Second,
Okay, second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Sir?
I've got a few things. One is every once in a while something comes up about the rent leveling board and dissolving it. Well, there's a very good purpose for the rent leveling board that has a relation as it relates to the landlords, the tenants, and the municipality. It gives the people in the tenants a place to go and express their needs through a town representative and a town board that has in the past acted very well in this situation with Catherine Devos was the chairwoman of that board. And I've been the president of the Brakely Gardens Tenants Organization now for about 4 years. And every time the heat would go out, the railings were broken, the sidewalks needed repair and things of that nature. And communication with the landlord, communication with the town, it would all go through the rent leveling board to some extent and give a sounding board for the tenants of the community if they felt they needed it. And it's been done many times. So, I mean, I wish, everybody, all the council people would consider not getting rid of the rent leveling board. If there could be need at times, if
Nobody's.
but somebody did speak about it in not a good light. I don't remember it was in the beginning of the meeting. Maybe not one of you council people, but as far as having the rent leveling board, okay.
Oh, no, I have no intention.
Okay, okay, yes. So I just want to state that one more time. Okay. And then I would also like to thank Joe for the sewer discount he's proposing.
Well, it's not there yet.
No, I know, proposing for the seniors. That's a very good idea. And I would wish that the volunteer requirement letter that Donna spoke about be publicly posted here in the municipal building.
Sure.
On the bulletin board. And then one other thing, Mr. Mayor, inflation of taxes, when it doesn't go along with inflation of entire incomes, also poses a problem. Stagnation of wages and increasing prices and increasing inflation. It doesn't go together. So, just try to hold down.
We do try.
On that.
You have to understand, of course, that the town has to go out and buy all the same.
Yeah, I understand. I do understand, but remember that it's the pricing structures as well as the cost structures that are the cost structures of wages and incomes and commissions and salaries that are caused that cause this. Besides that portion, the income portion causing it, it's also a pricing structure that keeps going forward unwarrantedly in a lot of cases. All right. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Okay, gang, anybody else got anything they'd like to say? Mr. Johnson.
Good evening. This is Eric Johnson, 361 Stonehenge Drive. About 1 year ago, I did a very in-depth analysis of our pool income. And we made some changes, some recommended changes on the Recreation Committee level, and a few of those changes were implemented. One of the things that we agreed to was to monitor and track the different groups that were using our pool so that we can analyze it even further this coming year. Well, I'm ready to hold my end of the bargain and analyze it again and take a look at it and see if we can come up with any more recommendations to help save our taxpayers money and maybe bring in some more income for the pool. So, Beth, I'm, I guess, officially asking you if I can get the pool numbers for 2015 in maybe like within a month, and then I will get back to you within a month, and then we can make the recommendation on the Recreation Committee level on what changes we think we need to do by March, which will give us enough time to implement any ideas that we might have.
Mm-hmm.
So if everybody's on board with that, that's my only comment for tonight. So
Yes.
sound good?
Yes.
Well, great.
Thank you.
Right.
We gotta talk to Beth, she got a lot to do, so if she doesn't get it to you in a month. You gotta-
5 weeks is okay too. but in order for me to get it to her by March, which I think I need to get it to her by March so that we can implement it by April when the information goes out there.
Right.
4 or 5 weeks is between that range is definitely ideal.
Yeah.
And if you can't, then we'll talk and we'll see what we can work out. But
Yeah,
thank
we've been having a new CFO.
I know there's a lot thought to do, and it takes a long time to analyze the numbers as in depth as I did. So
Yes,
I want
it
to keep
does.
it going.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you.
Brian, another comment?
No, I just wanted again, what Donna said, and it's basically addressing the public a little bit. When we go out to cut your trees, we cut your trees. You see us out there, you want to come out, and you want to talk about it a little bit or something, we can do that with you. But the ordinance is 12 feet high, the sidewalk 12 feet high on the road. We keep our truck, we drive our truck through, the truck hits the branch or close to it, it comes off. If it's over half the road, it comes off. I can't, you guys have many, many years to take care of it, you're just not doing it, so I had to put my foot down on it. Protect our equipment a little bit, so. I ask you for a little bit of grace there with us and realize that things grow over a year or two and I don't want to come back to your place. All right, so. That being said, again, we're out doing trees and different things, but we're still short one plow truck. The truck has not come in, their plow hasn't come in yet. So we're still waiting on that. It's for our new truck.
As soon as we get that, it's going to start snowing.
Yeah, I know, let's hope not, but, you know, everything takes time. Everybody, because of the hard winter, everybody's buying, everybody's short, so, as you make your new budget, if you choose to equipment stuff for the road department, please give me time. Please keep that in mind, that it takes 8-9 months to build a truck.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They're not, you know, go out and buy one.
Right.
All right. Just let you know that. And the other thing is, bill wise, our little Mason dump, it's truck 18, little one to see driving around. We went out and sold it one storm. Wasn't a lot, but doesn't have a rear anymore. It's there, but it doesn't pull the load. All right. As soon as you put a little load on it, it's done. So I'm estimating somewhere around 3,000. I don't have a choice. It's the truck that goes up on the hill. They're starting to nickel and dime us to death, is what I'm trying to tell you. I have probably almost $10,000 into that truck in the last 2 years.
And a new one, as you said, about 90.
Yeah, somewhere around the 90,000. I paid 87 for the other one.
Yeah.
I know it's a lot of money, but you know what I mean, not having trucks to do things. So I'm just letting you know what just took place and where things go. So as you make your budgets and as you keep things in mind, it is time limited to us. All right. And it is a financial burden to you guys in the town, but it's also necessities that need to go.
Brian, off the top of your head, we did a 5-year plan for the DPW last year. And off the top of your head, do you know what equipment we have for this year?
This year was 2 trucks.
2 trucks.
Yeah. Just to let you know also, so I don't know quite how we want to do that yet, Donna. I've been thinking about it. Don't hold me to the exact year. I believe it's a 1974 the yellow tractor that we use with a sidearm on it.
Yep.
We were taking it up Delaware Street, doing the last cut of the season, and it almost killed the guys.
Yeah.
Damascus was driving it, one guy, and he's going backwards to do a second cut, and it locked itself in forward first gear, and it just stood it up almost straight. It's done. I mean, come on, we don't hold on to 1974 vehicles.
That's right. That's right.
All right, I want to bring them home at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You
It
know?
shouldn't have been this long.
So,
Yeah.
It belongs up to Farmers Fair with the trash.
yeah, I want to put some things in, and it's towards the end of the year, but it kind of goes with your budget stuff. I want to put some things in the Warren County auction this year.
Yes.
All right.
Get those police cars too.
Yeah, we'll clean up the yards here, get rid of the police cars, get rid of the things that you're going to replace.
Latest SUV.
The SUV, but there's a couple of old squad cars out there.
Yeah, we already gave them to them.
Are they going to use them in practice?
Parts and practice.
Well, we'll figure it out when that time comes, right, Beth? You know what I mean? What we want to move on and don't move on. All right, but that's really what amounts to. I have one tractor to cut grass, brush hog. I don't know if I can handle one. We're going to try, but we have to sit down and as department and liaison figure out where we want to go exactly.
Part of our budget process.
So
We got
that's
it.
where we're at.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks.
All right, thank you. Sir?
Ernie Gallant, 245 Aurora Street. I'm also a member of the Lopatcong Board of Education. We'll be holding a referendum on March 8th, and the reason I'm up here is that we're going to be having a meeting tomorrow night at 7 p.m. at the middle school to discuss the referendum. It's not an official school board meeting. There won't be a quorum there. It's a meeting that's open to the public. I've let most of the council members know, and it is an open public meeting. So we'll be giving out information. There'll be a chance to ask questions, and I hope to see all of you there tomorrow night.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ernie. Thanks. Lori?
Lori Chesla, 12 Meadowview Drive. Congratulations to Lou and Joe. It was a pleasure to see you both signed in. Thank you for the appointment to the Recreation Committee. Just a couple notes. I know I sent you guys a bunch of my stuff before I left, but as far as the auditors go, I have all the research on the union governing body appointments, so I'll send that to you guys. As far as the change is great. The one thing it is you have two parts of the equation. You have the CFO and you have the auditor, and your CFO keeps changing, so you do have change in here. So if there are things, I mean, the CFO is obligated to her license to report them, so I think you'll be in good hands. And as you know, our auditors not only have to be CPAs, but they have to be RMAs, so they are very highly trained. And again, they could lose their license if they do something, so I think you're in good hands. As far as the attorney, again, you know, I worked with Katrina and Rich and everybody, and I always appreciated the hard work that they did. The labor attorney that was attempted to be appointed was in fact the attorney that represented the mayor in the special investigation. You were correct on that. To Paul, something that wasn't mentioned were the donations that you make every year to Community Day and movies at the pool, and we certainly couldn't do it without you. Your firm has, you know, you have personally donated to help us keep those programs going, and I just wanted to say all the years that I've worked with you, you're an absolutely excellent engineer, and I'm sorry you didn't get your appointment. You really should have. And whether or not you guys agree on your council liaison appointments, I just, you know, or how to appoint them. I know last year we accepted what was given us, as long as you're getting them beforehand, so you do have a chance to talk to the mayor. That's, you know.
We're not.
Oh, okay.
We're not.
Sorry about that.
Never have.
For Shade Tree, they were working on a letter. They didn't have quorum at that meeting. They haven't had quorum since. I know we had talked to you a little bit, Katrina, about if you had a letter from another town, especially since you don't even have, you don't have enough still on quorum, if there's a letter that could go out. And in the meantime, you know, the township can utilize their website and social media to get the word out about trimming the trees. I have a question, I guess more for Brian. As we're trimming the trees, are we cleaning up the debris?
On Friday because the sweeper takes water.
Okay.
And I can't put water in the sweeper. It's not.
Okay, all right, because some people were saying there's a lot around. Okay, thank you. As far as with politics, people donate to PACs. They have no idea who the PAC is going to donate. PACs donate to people. That letter that went out, I can tell you for a fact, was not sponsored by Joe and Lou. The political flyer that went out with the newspaper articles and the meeting minutes, that was not from their campaign. I just want to clear that up. Just again, I wish you good luck in this year, and just tread a little carefully. I really don't know if you guys should be saying we don't want to use this bank because somebody else uses that bank. I don't know if you want to be mentioning the wives of Board of Ed members. You know, they're not here to defend themselves. And also, I really don't think we should be mentioning other businesses in this county like was done tonight. Thank you.
Anyone else?
I just like to, oh, go ahead. No, go ahead. You can go ahead.
Well, I figured since nobody else was talking, I'd say something really quick. Juniper Lifer, 32 Jade Lane. Congratulations, Mr. Belcaro, Mr. Pryor. I really do hope that you guys will keep the promises that you made throughout the campaign to bring some reason and, you know, some decency back to communications here on council. I hope, Ms. McCabe, that you will consider that your tone really does affect that a lot, and that there are ways to disagree with the people who you're working with that are not antagonistic. And tone really does have a lot to do with that. I come up here time and time again, and I often disagree. But I actually do try to speak in a relatively reasonable tone so that hopefully you can be receptive. So anyway, I hope you will consider that. Donna, I thank you once again for continuing to look out for the taxpayers of this community on several issues. You've been the voice of reason. It often somehow turns out to where it reflects poorly on you as if you're trying to cause trouble, but I know that you're trying to protect the taxpayers, and I appreciate that effort very much, and especially your willingness to take that hit and to take that viewpoint from everybody else to make that happen for us. So I really do. So again, thank you very much. I hope that you guys will move forward and represent this community. Put the politics aside. I agree. Listen, the PAC is a very disparaging group. I understand why certain members of our council would be very uncomfortable supporting professionals who are supporting that PAC. And because the letter that went out in the last election was just a repetitive letter, it's very hard to say that you're unaware of what the PAC is doing. That had happened before. So let's all just keep our heads about us and try to do better. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lifer. I have to agree with you on how hard that Councilwoman Schneider works for this community. And no well-intentioned, good person should have been treated over the last 2 years the way she was treated. And I, for one, appreciate her efforts. She has done a lot, and, you know, I'm glad she's with us. I think it's time that we call this fun thing off.
Yeah, and just before Juniper was going to the last,
I'm sorry,
I had one
yes,
quick response,
I'm
and that was, our professionals did know where their money was going because they were told where the money was going in, that they contributed again. And when you look at the financial records, you can see that almost all of the donations made from this PAC went to Lopatcong Township folks that were running for office. So, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, the records of the PACs are public records. You can look on the computer and find them. Okay, so motion to close.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting's over.